Hey, what's going on, everyone? James Numbers here. Welcome back to another YouTube video. And today, I'm going to be going over some interesting things that have been happening over the past few weeks. Well, mainly three important events that I've been hearing about recently that I never got to show on video. But you know what? Better late than never, right? So today, I'm going to be going over these three things. And no, Kamen Rider Geats is not one of them. I've already went over it. But anyways, yeah, the first piece of news that I would like to talk about today. Oh, and yes, I'm watching Big Brother live feeds. But anyways, enough about that. We got the new title and name for the 30th season of Power Rangers, Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. And apparently, it was officially announced that the Dino Fury Rangers were set to return. And based on the logo, it looks like they might be returning as with their original Dino Fury costumes, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know fully for sure, but I think three things are probably going to happen. Either they're going to keep the Dino Fury suits for from You Soldier, the Cosmic Fury will be adapted from Q Ranger, which is the space themed Super Sentai, or it will be from Kira Major, with the sparkling costumes and machines and all that. Kira Major was fun, but yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. And my honest opinion about the whole cast returning for a third season, uh, two seasons already pretty long. Three will probably just get very very old. But if they do put up like new suits, like they did with Megaforce, I'll be like, whatever, it'll be fine. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think three things are going to happen. It's either going to be the same Dino Fury suit. The next has been all over the news lately. For those that don't know, Queen Elizabeth II has died at the age of 96 on September 8th, 2022. And yeah, her death comes as a big shock. She was one of the longest serving, I think actually the longest serving monarch in world history, I believe. So like around 70 years. I think she just recently celebrated her jubilee, and yeah, it was crazy. She died at the Balmoral Castle, and Operation London Bridge, which was the funeral stage of the death of Queen Elizabeth II, is expected to take place. And after her death, her son, King Charles III, has become king of the United Kingdom. So, hearts go out to Great Britain. Hopefully, Queen Elizabeth II rests in peace. And yeah, and the last thing I want to talk about is Alaska's at-large congressional district special election. For those that don't know, there was a special election at Alaska's at-large congressional district after longtime U.S. Representative Don Young had died, and yeah, and in this election, Alaska was using its ranked choice using ranked choice voting for the first time. And the results of this election, as you guys can see, are actually pretty interesting. Now, in the primary, the top four people were going to be going to a runoff, and the four people were Sarah Palin, Nick Begich, Al Gross, and Mary Peltola. And independent Al Gross ended up withdrawing from the race, so yeah, so there was only like three candidates left. And as you guys saw in the primaries, the top two people the two people that got the most votes were both Republicans, with Sarah Palin getting the most votes. And yeah, that was kind of a big deal. And honestly, I many people thought that this seat was going to go Republican because Alaska has been a red state for a pretty long time now. But there have been some polls, not many polls, but there have been some polls showing that Nick Begich was going to win, and then Mary Peltola was going to win. What the polls were saying is that it was either going to be Nick Begich or Mary Peltola that was going to win. Sarah Palin, it was endorsed by Donald Trump, and yeah, she was like the former governor of Alaska before she ended up resigning very early on to take on an opportunity as a celebrity or whatever. But yeah, at the election, Mary Peltola actually had like the plurality of votes. Yeah, and as you guys can see, yeah, Nick Begich ended up getting third, and so his votes were transferred. A lot of them were transferred to Sarah Palin, but a significant amount went to Mary Peltola. And unfortunately for Sarah Palin, the amount of this was not enough for her to get the win. Sarah Palin has ended up proving to be so unpopular that she ended up giving the seat to the Democrats. The reason why the Republican lost was because of an unpopular candidate, which is so crazy. The same thing literally happened in 2019 with the Kentucky gubernatorial election and in 2021 with the Virginia gubernatorial election. You know, with Kentucky being the Republican supposed to win, but the Democrat actually won, and with Virginia, the Democrat was supposed to win, but the Republican actually won. So, yeah, as a result, Mary Peltola ends up being the U.S. representative for now because the general election, they're holding the general election as well, you know, because midterm elections are coming up, and these three people are back again. You know, but this time there was like a fourth person. Yeah, Chris By is based. The Libertarian is the fourth candidate to be who's going to be on the runoff for the general election. Now I'm pretty sure like there was like a Republican, yeah, Tara Sweeney, who ended up getting fourth place. However, she withdrew from the race. I'm assuming before the primary election, so Chris By ended up being like the next, ended up was like the next best, and right now people are saying this is looking to be a Republican flip. So, I mean, you never know. If Sarah Palin gets second again, Mary Peltola is going to win. But if Nick Begich gets at least second, like, I think he will flip the seat. Republicans are going to need to rely on Nick Begich. Many Trump Republicans and Sarah Palin were very pissed off at ranked choice voting, and they viewed it as a scam. So, yeah, at this point, yeah, they're not happy about it, to say the least. So, yeah, right now, I think it's either going to be Nick Begich or Mary Peltola who's going to win. And honestly, if Sarah Palin gets even more popular, I would not be surprised if Mary Peltola expands the lead. But if Nick Begich gets at least second, I think he will win the general election. Because I think cross appeal is very important. And I think the reason why Mary Peltola ended up winning was I think many pissed off voters finally felt like they had a chance to have their voices heard instead of having to choose to sit out in primary elections where they had no say. They basically had the option. As you all know, Alaska is a majority independent, has a majority of independent voters. So yeah, I think there was a lot of a significant. I think what may have happened was that there was a significant amount of independent voters that feel like, you know what, I feel like I finally got a chance to be heard, and so I think that's what they did. And Sarah Palin was just proven to be too radical and too unpopular for the state to even win an election. So yeah, hopefully you all have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.